So if you're interested in passively investing in multifamily syndications, you might be wondering, hey, Michael, is this a great time to get started, or should I maybe wait a little bit longer? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about in today's video. And to help me with that is our director of investor relations, Bronson Hill. What's going on, Bronson?
Hey, what's up, Michael? Excited to be with you again today. I love doing these videos. And, as you know, my background is an alternative asset investment advisor. So I used to hear about all different types of asset classes, and people would have all different types of opinions about asset classes, whether they're good or they're bad, or whether the timing is right or not. Now, obviously, we love multifamily investing, multifamily syndication, but is right now a good time for multifamily syndication?
That's a great idea, a great question. I mean, my argument's always been, hey, it's always a great idea to get into multifamily. I think the difference has been that from an operator perspective, it's been kind of hard to find deals. And so passive investors are always asking their operators, when are you getting your next deal? When are you getting your next deal? And so because the passive investor wants to diversify and continue investing in the asset class, and so some of the deals have not been around, and so that's frustrating. And so what should someone do? And so now what's going to happen is we're going to get some buying opportunities here over the next few quarters later in 2020. We're already starting to see that. For example, the deposits that go hard in day one, that we're not seeing that at all. Some sellers are allowing contingency financing. In fact, right at this point, we wouldn't even do anything with a financing contingency, and their longer due diligence periods, and of course, lower prices. So what's going to happen is because there are going to be some strong operators and some weaker operators, and those weaker operators, they may feel the squeeze. They may need to refinance or possibly sell to get out. And those people, that's going to be opportunities for us to buy from those at much, much lower prices. And so as a result of that, the passive investor is going to see a much more opportunity to invest. And again, it's key. It's important to invest with strong operators because you don't want to just buy everything that's available for sale, because things may be going down. We don't know how far, right? So we don't want to try to catch a falling knife. We want to kind of pick it up when it's on the ground, right? So we're going to be very cautious with how we proceed, but right now is an unprecedented time, and we haven't seen this since 2008. So I'm excited.
Yeah. So, Michael, what's the problem? I know a lot of people kind of think, well, hey, when things kind of stabilize, or when everything kind of lines up perfectly, I'll get it, invested. But what's the problem in general with kind of waiting for opportunities and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, look, the problem is it's never really a good time to invest or to do anything. So, recently it's been, this is the argument, Bronson, right? It's like, oh, you know what? It's so overheated. I should probably wait till it cools off a little bit, right? So people wait. Now we're in the, going down the trough recession. People are like, oh no, it's probably not a good time. I should probably wait, shouldn't I? Right? So these people are always waiting because they're waiting for the perfect time, which never really comes. And so this is the problem with waiting, because it's not just you're waiting right now. Most people who say, oh, I'm just going to wait right now, wait forever.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people, they say the best time to invest was like 10 years ago, and the second best time is now. So there's some Chinese proverb that says that. So that's true. So can you talk to us a little bit about Nighthawk Equity as far as acquisitions? How are we looking for deals? Are we waiting for deals? Like how have things changed, and what are we doing to try to make sure we're doing the right deal? And what does that look like?
Yeah, there's a lot of our peers and a lot of operators who are simply not doing anything. They're sending their acquisitions guy on vacation, or he's got to clean the toilets or something, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. We are a little bit more proactive, so we're still looking for deals, but we're very cautious, and we got to make sure that when we get into a deal, we're not putting deposit down on day one. That's dumb. We're not doing that. And we are looking for financing contingencies because the capital markets are really wacky right now. Things are changing on a daily basis. Sometimes you need a reserve, then you don't need. Then you also need more. Now your LTV is cut. And so we want a financing contingency because we don't know what's going to happen in 2 months, right? We also don't know what's going to happen with the incomes and the valuation of those deals. So financing contingency is important, and a longer due diligence period is important because, hey, we can't travel right now. How is the poor appraiser supposed to go to the property and appraise the property? How is the property inspector supposed to do that? There's some real logistical challenges. And then there's a fourth thing is extensions. we got as many as we can to kind of stay in this deal. So we are being very proactive. We're looking for not only price, but we're also looking for terms to get into the deal that protects us. So we're proactive right now. But again, it's kind of a weird place. Capital markets are kind of wacky, and a lot of sellers are still want the price from a little while ago, and well, that's not going to work anymore. So we're kind of we're still looking, but we are going to see quite a bit of buying opportunity here later in the year. So we're excited about that.
So I have a belief, Michael, that we learn best when we're in action, when we're actually doing something. We get out of analysis paralysis. We're actually doing something to help grow. So as a passive investor and as someone watching this, like what's something that I can do as a passive investor to get in action and start to learn and grow and find like what are the next steps for me to like grow?
Yeah, it's a great question because we have a little bit of a lull in the action for maybe a couple months or so, until it picks up again. Now is a great time to educate yourself. A lot of people probably watching or listening to this, and maybe they had a little bit of money in the stock market. Now they have a little bit less money in the stock market, and they're kind of scratching their head going, oh, is there anything else? Maybe I should look into this syndication thing. I'm not so sure. And so it's a great time to look into this syndication thing if you're not so sure. And we have that great report. It's at the michaelblank.com/report that if you're not quite sure, it analyzes the stock market versus real estate investing. And compares and contrasts. So it might give you a very good insight into those two asset classes. So it's a great time to educate yourself about that. And then not only are you watching YouTube videos or maybe listening to a podcast or reading a book, you're also maybe talking to actual operators or you're talking to other passive investors, right? Other groups. We have the Dealmaker Mastermind at the michaelblank.com/DMM. If you want to connect with other operators and passive investors, it's like $50 a month, and there's several hundred people in there, really serious people, and the networking there is insane. So why don't you connect with other passive investors, and why don't you connect with other operators? And it's a great way to continue educating yourself and to expand your comfort zone.
So, Michael, Warren Buffett has this other great quote. I love Warren Buffett quotes.
Yeah, you really do, Bronson.
I really do. He's a good guy to study. But he said that in general, we should be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. So, why is it important to be willing to invest when others are fearful?
Yeah, I know it's really counterintuitive, but I remember back in the recession. I mean, you saw it. The greed was so strong in 2005 with a run up in property prices. And there are people. When I even started getting into flipping houses, people would brag at the real estate investment clubs. I bought a house today for $100,000. Tomorrow I'm listing it on Craigslist for $120,000. I am the awesome guru investor, right? And it's like, it's like the greed was so there when everyone was jumping in, and there was a complete absence of fear. Like fear is actually good because it kind of helps sometimes to prevent us from killing ourselves or jumping off a cliff. So fear in some senses is good, and there was a complete absence of any kind of precautionary at all. Versus contrast 2008 when there was blood in the streets, everyone's selling and no one's buying. Holy moly. I mean, that's why the stock market real estate went down, because that's exactly the combination that happened, because there was so much fear. There was only fear, and no one was buying and everybody was selling. And that is where wealth was created. It's the same thing right now, Bronson, right? So people are so afraid to get started because I don't want to buy right now. I don't know how low it's going to go, and so maybe I should just wait till it swings back up, right? People couldn't tell it was swinging up until like a year or two later. Oh, it has swung up. My grandma got into real estate. It's probably good to get in now, which of course is a sign that, it's probably too late or else jumping in. So this relationship between fear and opportunity is inverse, right? The higher the fear, the more the opportunity is. And the thing that holds most people back is that fear paralyzes typically. So when there's fear in the street, everyone is paralyzed and they don't want to do anything. So if you can overcome fear, I'm not saying throw caution to the wind, but if you can stay calm, objective, and objectively analyze investments, opportunities that come along, if you do that, then you can have an amazing opportunity. I think there's going to be an incredible amount of wealth that's going to be created over the next 12 months.
Yeah, I think that what you said is true, is that there are opportunities in every single market. And I think it's just paying attention and being open. And when everybody's fearful, that could be a sign that to be a little bit contrarian and be like, oh, maybe this could be a great time to invest. So I think that there are some great opportunities available in this market. So I wanted to thank you, the passive investor, the person watching, for taking the time to be with us, because you're investing in yourself. And when you examine these things about fear and what's the right time and all of that, you're really putting into you just things that are really going to help you when it's time to pull the trigger on the right deal. So one thing, if this is kind of new to you and you're like, I've been investing in the stock market and how does this compare with multifamily syndication? Michael put together this amazing report. It's at the michaelblanc.com/report. And it basically compares the returns and volatility within the stock market to what's happening within multifamily syndication. So please take a look at that if you haven't. And then also, if you're interested in doing deals with us, we're constantly looking and doing deals, and we'd love to have you be a part of our Nighthawk Investment Club. If you are interested, you can go to nighthawkequity.com, check it out. You'll set up a call with us. We'll get you on our list if it's appropriate for your investment goals. But just again, wanted to thank you for taking the time, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.
Hey, and before you go, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel because we're putting stuff out every single week. Also, check out this special report just for you. It's what's the best investment, the stock market or real estate. It's going to blow your mind. And here's another video for you to check out.